What are the benefits of backup and archive in corporate versus educational environments? Having worked as a professor for quite a few years now in Los Angeles, and also having assisted many corporate clients with their archive and storage needs, there really are different needs and backups between corporate and educational. With corporate, you're going to be going through creating projects and very often archiving them for a longer term storage and for retention, sometimes for legal reasons, sometimes just for corporate history reasons. With education, what we're finding is that many of the projects that we're archiving are going to be for classes that are going to come back around every so many terms. So when you're doing a class and you have a certain set of media that a class will be working with, whether it's in a communications course or a film course or some type of other media arts course, we'll see these needs for specific class or for class specific media to need to be backed up and archived for long retention because they've obtained the rights to use this material, but then they're going to bring it back with some frequency, whether it be every 6 months, every year, 2 years, whatever that may be. With the corporate clients, we're seeing a much wider disparity in what their archival needs are. Some projects are going to be done once, they're going to go off to archive, and they're going to just sit there potentially for years on end, and potentially might not come back unless there's some specific need. Other projects are going to come back with some regularity, whether it be media that's used for an annual event or media that's going to be used for promotional reels or sizzle reels that the corporation needs to cut for themselves. So we're really seeing some disparity in the needs of what they are, both legally and in our reconstitution.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense actually. The corporate market, in my experience, is when they're talking to people about backup, we have a very famous client, a football team, and they had a massive installation of our product, and their corporate side said, yep, that's fine, you can use our internal storage to back it up, you don't need to go and buy an Echo, there's a complete waste of money.
Yep.
So they then proceeded to dump 100 terabytes of stuff onto the corporate SAN, and within 3 weeks we were quoting for an Echo because it was just unusable. Yeah. It made sense, but it was unusable in media because within weeks they needed to pull back 2 terabytes.
Right.
And they had to submit a form, then it had to go for approval, then it had to be taken and put back on the storage, and it was weeks to get the data. So an Echo went in and they've got protection of their workflow. So yeah, it does make sense. Corporates, especially when it's full of Macs, and they tend to go because they're full of Macs. So
right.
They get left to their own device.
And it's funny you mentioned that because in education we find that they're very, very Mac friendly. We're seeing many of the students are Mac and have only been Mac, whereas in corporations we're seeing they're still very heavy PC users.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, lucky for our customers and our partners, well, not only do we talk media, but we talk IT, so
we do.
We can have a chat with them as well.
And it's also important to know that we're also friendly with Linux as well.